Hello traders, Sean at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the USO, the UUP, the GLD, the TLT, and the GDXJ. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So if you like these videos, go to my website, sign up, it's free, or click down here in the bottom right hand corner and subscribe. So USO guys, daily chart 26 million, 0.95% up or 9 cents up on the day. You know, nothing great, nothing terrible. We're a little bit down after hours, but we are consolidating in a slight bullish pattern. We're still in this channel, went up, retraced back down, got the pop back up, trying to recapture the 50 MA and this high pivot up in here. I'm going to stick the trend line, let's stick it right there. So we're holding that 50 MA. We get above that, then I think we're going to 968, then the $10 area in this trend line there. If we crack through that, I love this area right here. If we can make it there, I will be shorting this one again. We did short this one a couple times. We've shorted this one a bunch of times actually, but the last position we covered was right down in this area. Said, hey, it broke 9. I'm done. Let's get out of this thing. See if we get a retrace, and we'll rinse and repeat and do it again. So we're waiting patiently for this area up here. I still think they can drive it, but we'll see what the central bankers can do with manipulating the dollar. I believe Yellen might talk tomorrow too as well, so that will be some more lip service. This could drive it up or down. And then Wednesdays, guys, always news for the USO. Will it go up or down? I don't know. We're going to find out tomorrow. Maybe we'll even trade it on an intraday basis and try to get 10 cents out of it or something, which is what, almost 1% or so. So again, nothing to do here, guys. Just let's see if it waits a pattern. Let's see if we can go up. If you are bullish and riding this thing up, just trail your stop as it goes up if it does. If this thing continues lower, I think we'll crack this pivot, crack this bottom low, and we'll be going towards the $8 area and then ultimately the 750 double bottom or 760, whatever that might be. So, but right now, guys, nothing wrong above the MAs, trying to recapture here. Let's see if we grind sideways and then possibly up, or do we grind sideways and then start to slide? So tomorrow though, guys, again, news, this thing could go up or down. I don't know, but I'll be watching to see which way this thing will go. So keep an eye on it. $10 would be a good area, and then up in here too. So if you want to add a little here, add a little there, and then let's see what will happen to this. Again, Janet Yellen does not need higher oil prices. That's the only thing I would love to go in right here, guys. I really would. I'm just trying to wait patiently. I'm in a bunch of trades right now, some underwater, and I just don't want to keep putting them on and fighting these things short. Most of them are short. My gold long was one of the long ones, but I just don't want to fight this thing knowing that this could be the possible target, the 200 MA. So let's try to wait patiently for this one and see what we can do. All right, the UUP. Just like the UUP, guys, another down day. Talk down, sideways, down, sideways. This is the pattern, guys. It's just a slow bleeding downtrend, you know, down, sideways, down, sideways, down. Now we gap down. They're holding the 24.50. They're trying to. I still think 24 bucks down in this area. 24.32 is a nice pivot. 24.13 is a nice pivot, and then of course the $24 even number is a great area too. So let's see if we can wait this out. The UUP, if you are short this one, still going strong. I think you should start tightening up the stop here. You don't want to get all of a sudden it pops up and starts coming into this area, and you're like, ah, damn it, I was in it, you know, right up on this one here. This even better, 26, and you're at 24.49. That's a heck of a trade right now. So just tighten those stops, trail it down, and see if you can get into this area and then start pulling something off. It could still go lower, maybe to 23. This is going to be a big area to test to see if we get the bounce, or do we get more sideways action like this, setting up for the next leg down. So the other reason why I'm looking at this trade, the 200 MA on the weekly, great area. Look at these pivots, guys. So if it cracks through this, then you better look out. The dollar will be going lower. Where? I got to see how it reacts during this and how it sets up a bearish pattern for more downside. Does it come straight in? There's different ways to look at these charts to see how these things are going to come in and bounce or come in and just keep going down. So great support down here. Watch the UUP. Let's see what happens with that in the next couple days. Again, I think she comes out on tomorrow, 2 o'clock New York time or whatever it is, so for the Fed meeting or what the FOMC meeting, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. All right, let's get into the daily chart of the gold. God, exactly what we see. What do we talk about? We talked about the gap up. Then we say, hey, if they're going to get this thing up, they need a gap up. And what happens? You can't even make this stuff up, guys. I mean, they don't want to deal with the resistance and the resistance at the trend line. So you know what? Gap it up. And look where it stayed, right there. So it's just comical, guys. Well, we still fill the gap right here, so that was a little bit of resistance. But if they don't want to deal with support, they gap it down. If they don't want to deal with resistance, they gap it up. They, the market makers, an institutional player, maybe a small hedge fund, someone who wants gold higher. They come in, put the bid on, gaps up. Don't look back above the trend line. That was the one who was like, oh gosh, it's cracking below that. Ooh, this is going to be bad. But remember, we followed this thing on the weekly. I said, all right, let's see what we get. It was a weekly close. That was ugly. Let's see what we get the following week. And thank God we did. And that's why sometimes I follow the weekly chart. If you would have just followed the daily, you would have been out right here going, gosh, forget it, this thing's going lower. So instead, we wait, we get the full-on reversal. The guys who sold down here, they're chasing it now. Oh my gosh, it's going up. But look at the weekly now. Remember, I'm looking for another gap up, guys. I want to get over this here. If we can gap up and get over the 119, I would love to get 119.22. I don't know if we'll get it, but if we can close on a weekly above these MAs, we're heading right here, guys. So we took a short-term trade on the GLD. Let me show it to you. We took it on the 3rd. I'm going to pull it in. This is on StockTwits, guys. So we went long GLD 116.55. We did, I don't know, some guy said that. Then we added some more at 116.11. Then we added more at 115.44. You know what we do if you follow me. Slow and steady, guys. As it was going down, we were looking at the 115. Our average price was 116.03. We got the pop today. You know what? I'm getting beat up on some other positions, so I'm just taking this off for the $2 gain and saying, hey, you know what? Good enough for me. On to the next trade. So watch for that, guys. That was a quick trade, but I'm still in a swing trade from the 110.60 area. We did cover half here. We're just, we're holding on. I figured down, we took half. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to put some on down here. Maybe get a couple bucks, make up for the pullback. But now we're really in the rider's seat on this gold position. If we go back up to here, I might take a quarter of the quarter and then let a quarter position run. I still think we can possibly get into the 130s if this thing really starts to rumble. So watch for gold, watch for the push up. I want to see the weekly close where this one is. But if you're a gold bug, so far so good, guys. We did not get, this was the shakedown, guys, and then they give you one last weekly shake, reverse it. We hung on. I love following the weekly chart because if we didn't do that, we would have been stopped out and going, now there it goes. Still would have been in my swing trade, but my short-term trade, I would have stopped out and let it go. $2 on that. I'll take that every day of the week. So gold right now, let's sit steady and see what happens with that. Let's go into the TLT. TLT up $1 today, so we're starting to catch a bid. Now remember, they brought this down. Nice sell-off. Remember, they were shaking everyone up and down. This was a great pattern. Same thing. They got to gap it up over resistance, right to gap fill and close it, and they did exactly that, guys. We held this trend line. It was holding. Great setup though, down sideways, a little bit bearish, but still above the 200. I was saying, let's wait and see what this develops on this one. Today we popped. Still not out of the woods yet if you're long, but we got to recapture this one here and then possibly keep going. We still have gap window, gap fill, gap fill, gap fill, gap fill, gap windows, resistance, Fibonacci. So we still have a lot of big levels. Remember, gap it up. You know what? Don't want to deal with the 618 or the 50 or the 220 retrace and the gap fill here. Gap it up again. Keep it going. Who cares? Just like support. If they don't want to deal with support, just gap it lower and just get this thing going to the next area. So this was a big trend line. We are holding it on the daily so far, but let's see if we chop. Still down sideways, bearish. Slightly more bullish stance though above the 50 and the 200. So let's keep an eye on this for the next couple days, and the weekly close will be important just like the rest of the weekly close. Every week I say that, guys. Every close is important. It tells us a new or it gives us a new piece of the puzzle to try to figure out where these things possibly could go. We knew it was setting up for lower prices, but a little beatdown, got the gap like we talked about. And let's see what happens with this in the next couple days going into Friday. Let's go into the GDXJ, guys. 17 cents up, kind of stalling out, but one thing I like to see, guys, we talked about the trend line. We did gap above it and got above all the 50 and the 20 MA and above the line now. Next step, this area here where the green line is, which is about 33.39. We get above that, guys, we could possibly start to move higher. Now we're waiting for pattern. We're waiting for, a possible move up or a move down, but there's really nothing to do right now. If you are long this one, hold tight. You know, if you start getting back towards here, then maybe exit. I still think the GDX can go to 27.43. That's where I'll get interested. But if it doesn't go down, holds the MAs here, this can continue up. You still have resistance here, a gap, another pivot high, couple gaps, but ultimately the 200 MA is going to be target going up, just like the 70 or the 27.43 area is going down. So if we could get above these, then you have the pivot from those highs, and then of course you have the high here, 38.54, and then the 50 or 750 retrace, 618. Right in here is going to be some good area, you know, as it's creeping up here. Let's see how we can get this thing to shoot up. If we get some more volume, then it could crash, you know, crank through. First area though, in this here, we fill the gap today? We got to fill the gap. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on here, but first step, guys, above the 20, above the 50, getting a little bit better for me at least. Let's see if we start to go sideways for the next leg up, or do we slip right back? If we slip right back below, fill the gap, then we're going to have to see what's going on here. Again, I do not have a position in the GDXJ. I have a lot of traders that ask me to do technicals on it, and here I am doing it. So right now, though, back inside this big bar that's still slightly bearish, but I want to get back above this line here. That was the line in the sand before. Come on, gap it up, you know, do what you got to do. Market makers, institutional guys. But this one, GDXJ, man, and the JNUG, these are tough trades. So weekly, though, check out the weekly, almost engulfed. Here, now we're starting to set up. We're right on that trend line. Let's see what it gives us. I would love to get back above the 20, which is right around 33.62. If we could do that on the weekly close, then I'm thinking maybe 37 up in this area. Gray overhead resistance. If it really starts to rumble, you know, I mean, we could easily go back to 43 bucks, but one step at a time. Let's see what it gives us on the weekly close. Daily's looking okay, you know, grinding higher. Let's see what the weekly close gives us. Again, guys, thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Go to my website, sign up, it's free. Subscribe down here, YouTube, and we'll go from there. But again, thanks for stopping by. God bless. See you on the charts.